I've seen a lot of companies doing on-spot interviews, and even some companies offering their jobs.
Hi, I'm Sarah Forster, news editor here at The National, and thank you for joining us for another edition of A Closer Look. Now, as a result of the UAE's Emiratisation drive, there are now more than 80,000 Emiratis working in the private sector. However, thousands more are still turning up to Emirati job fairs across the country looking to find themselves work in the private sector. We've been sending our reporter Ali Al-Shuk down to them to see how it's going and to talk to people, and he's now joining me in the studio to talk a little bit more about it. Ali, thank you for coming into the studio.
Thanks, Sarah, for hosting me.
So these job fairs are held in various Emirates. You've been to how many in the last week?
Well, in the last week, I've been to 2 job fairs in different, one in Sharjah and one in Abu Dhabi. There is one in Abu Dhabi.
And what would you say you're noticing when you go to these job fairs? Are they busy? Are people walking around with their CVs in their hands? What are the companies say? Tell me a bit more about what's going on down there.
Yeah, it's like all the job fairs is like a buzzing places. Like a lot of Emiratis, they go carrying their CVs and their certificates and their degrees, and they go from a company to another to explore job opportunities in the private sector, government sector, and the semi-government sector. But what's interesting in the recent job fair that I attended in Abu Dhabi, that all the companies were in the private sector. There is no government sector entities, no. And a lot of Emiratis came and they were looking to have a job opportunity in the private sector, which is really mesmerizing because you can see that with the years is coming, a lot of Emiratis now are willing and focusing to work in the private sector, which is like something we didn't hear in the past. Usually Emiratis, they like to go to the public sector entities because a lot of benefits. But the gap between the public sector and the private sector is like, it's closing now because of a lot of initiatives like NAFIS, which is like entitled Emiratis like a salary top-up to close the gap between the public and the private sector. Also a lot of initiatives like having discount cards, this companies offering this. So a lot of Emiratis, they go to these events, job hunting, and they're always looking for working in a lot of sectors like the oil and gas, a lot of engineers, and hospitality. In different kind of sectors, Emirati are like looking for jobs, especially the fresh graduate. They wanted to have a career path, and they are focusing more on training. They want to gain experience by working in the private sector.
I was about to ask you actually, who are you meeting down there? Are they all fresh-faced graduates?
Yeah.
Are these people who decided they didn't like their job and they wanted to quit and now they want something new? Are these people who retired maybe a bit too early and are thinking, I want to get back into the job market and work a bit longer?
Yeah, it's actually a mix between all of these. A lot of them are fresh graduates, but some people who quit their jobs and they are searching for a better job for a better salary, and but mostly like the fresh graduates who are just like finishing their universities or high school and they're looking for a job opportunity. Some people even like finish their high school and they wanted to have just like a simple job or any job while they are studying in the university. Today I met like an ambitious Emirati who's he graduated from high school in Abu Dhabi, and he's willing to study mechanical engineering. But he also at the same time wanted to have a job. So he wanted to study and work, which is really nice. The mindset of young generation of Emiratis is being changing through the years. They are just like focused more now on exploring opportunities, work opportunities. Also, they are looking to have a career path and also benefit from the training courses that the companies provided, because usually in the job fairs, a lot of companies provided training courses for the candidates and then or internships, and then they will offer them jobs. So it's a mix.
And are these companies that go down, the private companies, they go down there, they set up their stall, are they just kind of generally advertising, why don't you come and drop your CV off or whatever? Do they have actual jobs to fill?
Well, I've been in like this year, like this is my third event that I'm attending this year, and was one Ru'ya fair in Dubai, and the second in Sharjah, and now it's in Abu Dhabi. Usually, most of the Emiratis, like they think that they will go and drop the CV and then nobody will call them. But during those fairs, I've seen a lot of companies doing on-spot interviews, and even some companies offering their jobs. The recent job fair I attended in Abu Dhabi, like 500 available jobs already on the spot will be giving to Emiratis.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, yesterday about more than 1,000 Emirati came for this job fair. They presented their CVs and their documents, and they actually got interviews on the spot. Some of them like went to the second stage, and they asked them to come again after 1 week for another interview. So you can see companies, especially in the private sector, they are focusing on attracting more Emiratis. It's part of the Emiratization drive.
So as we know, more than 50,000 Emiratis have joined the private workforce in just the last 2 years. There's now more than 80,000 in total in the UAE, and thousands are turning up to the job fairs.
Yeah.
So clearly there is that drive from Emiratis themselves. Now, when they go to these job fairs, is it all oil and gas and big, mechanical engineering kind of jobs, or are there retail jobs? Are there, a bit lower down the pay scale maybe, but maybe a bit more within reach?
Yes, a lot of retail companies also, like let's say like Majd al-Fatim also group. So they're asking for people to work as in the customer service, reception, operators, this kind of stuff, commercial operators. Also the accounting and auditing also. They are looking for people particularly in these jobs. Also ADNOC group was there. And they were looking for different kind of job, not necessarily engineers and oil and gas. I know the fair today in Abu Dhabi, it was like more specialized with industrial companies and advanced technology companies, but also a lot of like even food suppliers. They were asking for Emiratis to apply for them.
Right. Well, thank you so much for going down there for us, Ali, and thank you for coming in to talk to me about it.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of A Closer Look, brought to you from right here inside the National's newsroom. Remember, all of our previous episodes can be found on our YouTube channel.